guys, welcome to J Cal's View, the journey of a journalist. I'm your host, J Cal. Thanks again for listening to the podcast, the only podcast where I pontificate about pro wrestling and give a behind-the-scenes look at Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. It's hard to believe, man. 1 year ago today, I had touched down in China, Wenzhou, China. Well, technically Shanghai, then Wenzhou, China. But, 1 year ago today, I touched down in China, which means it's about 1 year ago that I made some goals. And to be perfectly frank, I didn't reach those goals. Let me turn off the speaker here so we don't have to hear people instant messaging me. In some regards, there's been a lot of success. Okay, my goal was to make Alliance-Wrestling.com more of a community for fans of the NWA, which means that I had promised myself I was going to post more content, which I know I did. We produced over 22 videos for both YouTube and Twitch, which amounted to roughly, I have to look over here to see it, 176 minutes of video. That's something I never thought I would do. Doing this video right now is so far outside of my comfort zone. And for those of you who enjoy watching, that's awesome. But this wasn't easy for me. Talking into a phone has been fine, but actually speaking into a camera and trying to be engaging, well, that hasn't been easy for me. But that's something that, again, I strived to do when I was in China, because I kind of set some goals for myself when I was there. We did way more traveling than I've ever done for professional wrestling. I mean, I flew to China. I also drove to Las Vegas. I flew to Nashville, Tennessee, all for the sake of copying my journey, writing my journey of a journalist, photographing the historic and history of the NWA and promotions affiliated with them. So, there was some success and there were some failures. First and foremost, I had a lot of misses on social media. As of today, right now, December, oh my gosh, where am I? It is April the 11th. I have 2,096 followers on the Alliance Blog Facebook page. My goal was to hit 5,000. That was a lofty number. I thought I could get there, but that number was just slow and growing for me. Also with Twitter, similar. My goal is 5,000. I just cracked 1,000 recently. In fact, we're at 1,050 as it stands today. Instagram, well, I started the Instagram account while I was in China. So to have 209 followers on Instagram, I guess I take pride in that because it's the newest form of social media that I've been on. So I don't hate the 209 followers on Instagram. YouTube subscribers, I'm at 38, and consequently on Twitch, I'm at 26. Both of those I was hoping to reach around the 300 range. I know in order to actually generate any revenue for YouTube or even Twitch, I think you need to have over 1,000 subscribers, which that seems like that's going to be undoable for me. To be honest, I enjoy doing this, and I would do these videos with or without the promise of making any kind of money doing them. But this is very niche. If you're watching this right now, you're listening to this right now, this is a very niche deal. I mean, the fans of the NWA, we might be growing, but professional wrestling as a whole isn't a huge market, and when you start breaking it down into smaller and smaller portions, the NWA itself is, well, it's not Ring of Honor, it's not New Japan, it's not the WWE. So I do have some opportunities that I need to work on. I know that's going to help with engagement, and I know that's going to be also just generating more content. I published over 119 photos to Instagram last year in 1 year's time. And that's original photos that I took this year, not stuff that I published from Throwback Thursday or anything else like that. I'm kind of proud of some of the shows that I've been putting together Road Wild on YouTube with Big Daryl. Our Ride to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. We talk about wrestling, not just NWA, but all wrestling. That's been a lot of fun. Of course, Jay Cal's View has been one of my favorite things to do, and I try to do that more consistent, but it hasn't been consistent lately because of work schedule. But that's been pretty cool. I enjoy you guys listening to me and me getting to talk to you. And, some of the other shows that we've worked on are the Daddy-Daughter Wrestling Vlog. That's kind of started off as an Instagram exclusive, an IGTV exclusive, but I decided to put that on Facebook too. And then, of course, the Alliance Guys podcast, which is one of my absolute most favorite things to do when it comes to doing these videos, and wish we had more opportunity, more time to get more of these done. Now, because this is such a celebratorial day, 1 year from being home going to China, I thought I'd talk a little bit about my time in China. For those of you who didn't know, new to the show, last year I went to China to be a part of the historic night for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood in Wenzhou, China. But the biggest element of it was Nick Aldis was defending the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship in China, which had never happened before. The NWA World's title never been to China before, so that was kind of a big deal. One of the persons that I met on that trip who I really kind of felt like I bonded with was Heather Monroe. Heather Monroe is, she's a wrestler, of course. She wrestles from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, but also is a product of the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. If you guys watch bar wrestling, you'll see her there. She's showing up all over the place. Future Stars of Wrestling. I've seen her recently make her debut in All Pro Wrestling Northern California. She's had matches on Impact. Plus, she's wrestled all over the world with the Pucifer tour that she was on. And she was a very cool chick. Is that sexist? Sorry. She's a very cool lady. How about that? That's a lot better, more PC. She even recently got to wrestle against Jazz for the NWA World's Women's Championship. And I really see a lot of good things coming for Miss Heather Monroe. We spent about 16 hours sitting next to each other on the flight from Los Angeles to Shanghai. So I really got to kind of get to know her. And although she's everyone else's bae, I consider her a friend. So I'm really happy to see the success that she's having. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to showcase some of the pictures that I've taken over the last year or so and some of the video. Plus, I had a chance to talk to her briefly around the time her match with Jazz was. And I want you guys to take a listen right now. Just whenever you're ready, your thoughts on the match tonight.
So I just had my match with Jazz, and it felt really cool to be in there with one of my people that I watched when I was growing up and get to kind of learn from her and experience something like that in the ring, especially with a place like Championship Wrestling in Hollywood, where I feel like I love working here, and I get the chance to kind of show what I can do and what I've learned with her.
I mean, it was really cool to get to spend some time with David Marquez, David Lagana, Eric Watts, Colt Cabana, Barbie Hayden, Nick Bonanno, Logan Chedwick, of course Reno Scum. I love those guys too, and it was really fun, kind of being in a different place where we're so dependent on the people guiding us through the city that it was unique, man, and it's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything. That show was supposed to be the biggest show of the year for the NWA, and it was until All In came around, and then the NWA 70th anniversary show. So, I mean, it almost ranks somewhere between number 2 and 3 between the 70th anniversary and All In. But I'm really glad I did take that trip. Now, the next trip I'm going to take will be to Concord, North Carolina to see the Crockett Cup 2019, and that's 2 weeks away. And I'm sure I'm going to have a few more stories to tell when I get there. I will be bringing the 10 pounds of replica because Kojima, you former NWA World Champion, I need to have you sign that belt. And hopefully I'll get some help along the way to make that a reality. So, guys, I always appreciate you listening in. Make sure that you check us out on the interwebs at alliance-wrestling.com. Social media, all the socials, every one of them at the Alliance blog. And I'll see you at the matches.